Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, huh? Oh, yeah. Like well over a year. I've been sleeping that long. God. Ugh. Hello. It's been a while. My name is Dave. And in case you have forgotten, which, again, it's kind of been a while, understandable. This is Dave Explains Bionicle Lore. Now, I'm not going to really give you a huge recap because it's been so long. If you want to know what happened, go watch the other 4 videos. You've got 4-ish hours to kill, I'm sure. Is that how long? Is that about how much screen time it is? Cool, 4 hours, cool, do it. But if you insist, I'll give you a quick little reminder of where we last left off, okay? Just because I'm such a nice guy. The last 2 videos were focused on the Metro Nui storyline, and as such, were flashbacks. Vakama was in my position at telling all the Toa Nuva and the Matoran of Mata Nui the story of his escapades as a Toa from like 1,000 years ago or so. You know, Vakama explains Bionicle lore, if you will. Or would it just be historical? History? Would it just be history? Okay, well, history's boring, so let's move on. Today, we are covering what many fans, myself included, consider the best year for Bionicle. I have something in my eye. Both in terms of sets released and storyline. 2006, the Voya Nui arc, Bionicle was at the peak of popularity. So much so for one of the commercials, one of the best commercials of all time. Fight me in the comments or in person. Name the time and place. I'll be there. Will you? I don't think so. I think you're a coward. But I will. I'm not a coward. Anyways, they secured the rights to Pop Punk Banger Move Along by the All American Rejects to use as marketing for one of the set lines. Okay. Now that we got all that, out of the way, I think I've rambled enough. I think it's time. Let's go. In 1954, off the coast of Japan, a freighter by the name of Ekomaru is suddenly sunk in a brilliant white-hot flash of light. There it is. My printer, I don't know what's going on with my printer, but all these lines here, it's not supposed to look like that, but you know, that's just on brand for this show at this point, isn't it? It's all, yeah, you get it. Anyways, the company that owns that ship, the Southern Seas Shipping Company, sends a rescue boat, the Bingo Maro, in search of survivors, but this boat also meets the same fate as its predecessor. I don't have a picture of that boat. I don't really need a picture of this boat either, it doesn't matter. A fishing boat from the nearby Odo Island does come across survivors, but like the 2 ships before it, it also goes up in flames. Masaji Yamada, the only survivor from this particular wreck, manages to build a raft to float back to Odo, where he quickly tells the other inhabitants that something sank the boat before falling unconscious. Coupled with the rash of disappearances and the lack of fishing, the elders of the island claim Godzilla, a sea creature out of local folklore, is to blame. A reporter... Oh my god. My iconic tape dispenser. I guess it's losing its sharpness. Look at this, look at this. That's way too long a piece of tape. That's not... I don't need a piece of tape that big. Okay, I think that works. We got it. It's all good. Don't worry about it. A reporter... Oh my god. This is what happens when you take this long a break from this show. Everything goes awry. There we go. A reporter named Hagiwara arrives on Odo via helicopter to speak with Masaji about what happened, but upon hearing the claims that the accidents were caused by some sort of creature, he remains skeptical. That night, the islanders perform an exorcism ritual in an attempt to ward off Godzilla, but a tropical storm cuts the ritual short. Much of the village is destroyed, and in the ensuing chaos, Masaji's younger brother... Oh god. Masaji's younger brother, Shinkichi, witnesses something huge crush his house with Masaji and their mother still inside. The following day, Hagiwara returns to Japan with multiple witnesses in tow, Shinkichi included, to appear at the National Diet Building to decide how to proceed. A paleontologist by the name of Professor Kyohei Yamane. Oh my goodness. Yamane suggests a scientific investigation party be sent to the island to find out just what happened. His daughter, Emiko, and her boyfriend, Hideto Ogata, okay, good. Thought it was going to fall for a second, just wanted to make sure. Ogata are among the party. Dr. Daisuke Serizawa, I didn't even mean to do that, I just did that by accident, so now I'm going to reuse this piece of tape. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Daisuke Serizawa appears during the party's send-off. I don't know why I put him up, because he's not important until later anyways. He's just there. We just need to know he exists. Arriving at Odo, Professor Yamane discovers a massive footprint practically glowing with radioactivity, as well as a trilobite, a prehistoric arthropod thought to be extinct. The village alarm suddenly sounds, with the villagers... Sorry, my wording in my script here was just strange. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Anyways, the village alarm suddenly sounds, announcing the presence of the huge creature that caused the destruction. Over the hill, the monster towers over the peak, bellowing down in rage at the villagers and scientists alike. But as quickly as it appears, the monster retreats back to the ocean. I hope that looked as good on camera as it looked here. That's not true, it didn't look good here, so I hope it looks better on camera than it did here in person. I guess we'll see when this airs. Returning to Japan, Yamane presents his findings to the National Diet, including a photo of the creature, which I guess I could have still put this up. There's the photo. He dubs it Godzilla after the Odo Island folklore. Judging by the intact trilobite and no doubt the creature's dinosaurian appearance, Yamane suggests that Godzilla is likely a prehistoric creature, perhaps an intermediary species between land and marine reptiles. However, sediment found in the footprint suggests that that is not all it is. The sediment contained a massive amount of strontium-90, an isotope only created by hydrogen bombs. He posits that hydrogen bomb testing in the Pacific may have destroyed Godzilla's home and perhaps irradiated and mutated the creature as a result. The rest of the diet argues about whether Godzilla's existence should be made public or not. Ultimately, though, knowledge of the beast does make the news, and the JMSDF deploy intended to kill the creature at sea with depth charges. As a paleontologist, this kind of upsets Yamane. The chance to study a living, breathing, prehistoric creature is something he believes humanity should not throw away, especially given its incredible vitality. You know, when asked whether anything can be done to kill it, Yamane reminds everyone that the creature already survived a hydrogen bomb. What more possibly could be done? I don't know where I was going with that. I thought I had a bit in my head, and then I just in one ear, out the other. Sorry. Anyways. Hagiwara later visits the... He shouldn't have even been on here this whole time. I probably should have taken him off, but whatever. I was thinking ahead. I knew I was going to need him later, so I left him off there. I'm making good decisions today. Hagiwara later visits the Yamane household and asks Emiko to introduce him to Dr. Serizawa. Okay, I actually am going to get a new piece of tape because... introduce him to Dr. Serizawa. The doctor is supposedly working on, oh my god, on a new invention that might just give Japan the edge it needs to destroy Godzilla. Emiko agrees, seeing the meeting as a good chance to confess to Serizawa her intentions to marry Ogata. He'll be right over there for the time being. Emiko and Serizawa were initially intended to marry, but she don't love him. She loves him. Love triangle. Anyways. Serizawa, however, claims that he has no idea what invention Hagiwara is referring to and kindly sends the reporter on his way. He tells him to get out of here, but he's nice about it. He's a good dude, Serizawa. He's not super rude. He's just like, all right, I'll see you later. Take care. And he apologizes for wasting his time. Soon after he leaves, he offers to show Emiko exactly what he's been working on. So it's true, he lied to Hagiwara. He's a liar. Maybe he's not such a nice guy. Liars are bad people. You heard it here first. Leading her down into the laboratory. Oh yeah, let's actually take Hagiwara off the board now. I don't think I actually need to use him for the rest of this video. So I'm gonna take him off now and then I'm gonna play it safe. I think we're good. Is this gonna fall again? I feel like this is gonna fall again. Okay. So, and yes. So, that was not scripted. That. It may have seemed like that was a scripted bit. I assure you it was not. Okay. Where were we? Serizawa leads Emiko down into his laboratory. And Emiko is so horrified by what Serizawa shows her that she leaves without even telling her about her engagement to Ogata. But not before the doctor makes her swear not to tell another living soul about his work. That night, Godzilla makes landfall in Shinagawa. There he is. There he is. It wreaks havoc through the ward with Yamane, Ogata, and I need another piece of tape. Shoot. and Shinkichi, not to mention countless other civilians, looking on in horror, helpless to do anything to stop the destruction. That morning, the GSDF enacts a plan to line the coast with 40-meter-tall electrical towers that, on contact, will send 50,000 bolts of electricity coursing through the monster's body. Evacuation is also put into effect, and a blockade of artillery cannons erected. Godzilla once again surfaces and bats aside the electrical towers like they're nothing, breaking through the high-tension wires and unleashing a stream of white-hot, incandescent light from its maw, melting the towers and proving its invulnerability is second to none. It moves inland into the very heart of Tokyo, leaving untold amounts of death and destruction in its wake. The entire city is set ablaze by the creature's atomic breath. Tanks and artillery cannons prove utterly useless against its thick hide and only serve to enrage the beast. Finally, a squadron of fighter jets lead the creature back out to sea, ending the rampage for now. In the morning, okay, that's all right. I just wanted to make sure I had all my pictures set. I thought I was missing one, but I wasn't. In the morning, the death toll numbers in the thousands, with the injured even more innumerable. And that's not even taking into account the massive amount of radioactive fallout. In an emergency shelter, Emiko runs into Ogata and pulls him aside, breaking her promise to Serizawa and telling her future husband about his terrible invention. The oxygen destroyer. It's a bad picture, but it's kind of one of the best ones I could get. A powerful chemical reaction that first asphyxiates and then liquefies whatever life form it comes into contact with. Serizawa said he would never reveal its existence until he could find a beneficial use for it. In its current state, it is even worse than an atomic bomb. But this is why Emiko is telling Ogata about the device. For Hagiwara was actually onto something. He's not just a stupid reporter. Okay, so here. This is the last time Hagiwara is mentioned. I'm not going to put him on the board. I'm just going to hold up his picture. There we go. The oxygen destroyer could very well be exactly what Japan needs to defeat Godzilla. Ogata agrees to visit Serizawa and try to convince him to let them use it. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. I know you're going to do it. Stay. Serizawa flat out refuses and quickly rushes to destroy the weapon. Goodbye. And his notes. The notes are important too. Ogata stops him, resulting in a physical confrontation, ending with Ogata bleeding profusely from the head. If this was the original version of Dave Explains Bionicle lore, I would use a little red marker to put some blood on Ogata's head. But this is daytime television. We can't show that. That's too graphic. I'm sorry. Maybe next time on the unrated cut of Dave Explains Bionicle lore, we'll put that in. But not this version. You'll have to wait for the Snyder cut. Anyways. Serizawa apologizes, but attempts to try and make the two lovers see reason. If the oxygen destroyer is used, the world's politicians will not simply stand by idly. Sooner or later, they would want to use the device as a weapon. As a scientist and human being, adding another weapon of mass destruction to humanity's arsenal is something Serizawa will not do. And that even if he uses the device to kill Godzilla just that one time, and burns his notes, that doesn't even guarantee he wouldn't later be coerced into giving up its secrets. Serizawa breaks down in tears, lamenting having ever created it. At that moment, a prayer for peace comes on the television. O peace, O light, hasten back to us. While the choir sings, images of the death and destruction wrought by the child of the H-bomb are shown. Overcome with emotion, Serizawa finally agrees to use the oxygen destroyer. He destroys his notes. I'll put this back up. He destroys his notes and all evidence of the device's existence, while Emiko looks on and bursts into tears. Serizawa comforts her and assures her that it is the only way to ensure it is never used again. The next morning, the trio, along with Professor Yamane and a bevy of scientists and reporters, embark on the Shikane to locate Godzilla in Tokyo Bay. Serizawa requests a diving suit so he can ensure that the device is activated correctly. Ogata at first refuses, claiming Serizawa has no diving experience, but eventually relents on the condition that he accompany the doctor. The two descend into the depths. All right, I gotta kind of reorganize things here to make it, the visual aspect of this needs to be correct. I wish I had scissors to make this Oxygen Destroyer picture a little smaller so it looks like Serizawa was holding it, but I don't have scissors, so I'm gonna rip it and hope for the best. And we're breaking new ground on this show today. You really are. Good enough. And then Serizawa has the Oxygen Destroyer. Special effects, movie magic. Anyways, what was I saying? The two descend into the depths after locating Godzilla using a Geiger counter. Make sure they're up above. Oh my God, this thing keeps falling. I never had much trouble with this staying up before. Not this much trouble. That's for sure. There we go. So they're on the surface, they're down in the ocean. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Put in the comments, does this make sense? I'll wait. As Serizawa prepares to activate the Oxygen Destroyer, Ogata returns to the surface. There we go. The doctor watches as Godzilla writhes. Jesus. As Godzilla writhes in agony. And from the device's effects. Special effects, movie magic, baby. He wishes Ogata and Emiko happiness in life before bidding them both farewell, cutting his suit line and oxygen cord, ensuring his own death. A noble sacrifice to ensure the knowledge of the Oxygen Destroyer dies with him. Rest in peace. Godzilla surfaces one final time. I didn't even mean to make that stick, it just did it by itself. Look at us go, doing good things today. Screaming its defiance at the world before sinking back down to the ocean floor and finally disintegrating into nothingness. Ogata, Emiko, and Professor Yamane quietly mourn Serizawa's sacrifice, with the professor lamenting that it is unlikely Godzilla was the last of its kind, and that if nuclear testing continues, there's a very good chance Godzilla will appear. Another Godzilla will appear someday. Not this Godzilla. This Godzilla is dead. Got some good distance. That one's dead. He's gone. Anyways, just a few short months later, I don't need any of this stuff now. Goodbye. Goodbye. I need you still. Aha! I will clean this up. Don't worry. We got people for that. We have our team of Dave Explains Bionicle Lore interns. Interns is not the word I'm looking for. Cultists. How about that? We got our cultists. Anyways, just a few short months later, Shoichi Tsukioka and Koji Kobayashi, two pilots for the Marine Fisheries Company Limited, are out scouting for schools of bonito when Kobayashi experiences an engine failure, forcing him to make an emergency landing on the nearby Iwato Island. Hidemi Yajima, there she is, Tsukioka's girlfriend, and also the daughter of the president of the company, nepotism much, radios Tsukioka to inform him of his friend's trouble, and the pilot heads to the Iwato for a pickup. Oh my God, stop. I need something else to weigh this down, but I don't know what. I don't have anything else to weigh this down. Next episode, we'll make sure nothing goes wrong. While pausing for a smoke break before leaving, the two hear a deafening roar from the cliffs above. They turn towards the noise to see exactly what Professor Yamane had warned of the year before. Another Godzilla! Again, not a great picture, but it's kind of the best one I could find. Believe me, if you've seen the movie, you would know that really is kind of the case. But the creature is not alone, but instead pitted in mortal combat with another huge creature. In the heat of battle, the two monsters tumble off the cliff into the ocean below. Tsukioka and Kobayashi return to Osaka to report their experiences in a meeting with the JSDF and several scientists, including Professor Yamane. The pilots identify the other creature as Anguirus, another dinosaur species. The pilots identify the other creature as Anguirus, another dinosaur species that lived during the same time as Godzilla and had a bitter rivalry with that species. The scientists conclude that Anguirus has also been awakened by continued nuclear testing, just like this second Godzilla. Yamane regretfully informs the assembled crew that, sorry, not much we can do. With the death of Serizawa the previous year, the oxygen destroyer is forever unavailable. They're screwed. SOL, as it were. The best they can do, he suggests, is to enforce a blackout in the city and to use flares to lure the monster away from it, as bright lights seem to have a profound effect on the beast, perhaps reminding it of the light of the hydrogen bomb explosion. Tsukioka and Hidemi are finally, are finally reunited, with the latter expressing worry that he might have perished on Iwado. Tsukioka consoles her, and they watch as the JASDF, the A is for the aerial, the Japanese Aerial Self-Defense Force, or maybe just Air Self-Defense Force, I don't know, sends out fighters to search for Godzilla and Anguirus. Kohei Yamane, not Yamane, Kohei Yamaji, I did need that one, I didn't mean to throw that on the ground. Kohei Yamaji, Hidemi's father and president of the fishery, laments that if Godzilla does appear, it will wreak havoc on the industry, making fishing pretty much impossible. The creature does later appear in Osaka Bay. Where did I leave off? And the blackout is put into effect, but just as Yamane predicted, is lured away from shore by flares dropped by the JASDF. Oh no, that's not good. The tape came off undone. There we go. He's leaving. Goodbye. Everyone wave goodbye to Godzilla. Are you waving goodbye? I have my spyware set up so that if you have a webcam, I can see if you're waving goodbye to Godzilla or not. Are you waving goodbye? Thank you. God. Unfortunately, this coincides with a prison breakout. The prisoners escape their transport truck, hijack a fuel truck, and in the ensuing high-speed chase, crash into a fuel refinery. What a terrible circumstance. Goodness. The resulting blaze acts as a beacon to Godzilla, and the creature resumes its march on Osaka. At the same time, unfortunately, the flares that were meant to lure Godzilla away from Osaka have had the unintended consequence of luring Anguirus towards Osaka. And the two monsters continue their titanic battle, leveling the city, including the main cannery for marine fisheries. Damn, pour one out for Marine Fisheries Company Limited. The creature destroyed the historic Osaka castle in the process, and in the chaos, Godzilla gains the upper hand, tearing out Anguirus' throat and then roasting the dinosaur's corpse to ash with its atomic breath. Godzilla leaves victorious and with the city in ruins behind it. Tsukioka, Kobayashi, Hidemi, and her father. Where's Kobayashi? There's Kobayashi. They're all together. But they more than lost the cannery, but Yamaji swears to rebuild and makes the decision to move operations to the Hokkaido branch in the meantime. A few months later, Kobayashi has been working at the Hokkaido branch and receives word that the rest of his friends will be arriving to join him soon. They get together, put them all together here. There we go. Oh, goodness. I gotta be better about how I affix this tape. Oh no. Okay, there we go. All right. They get together to celebrate their reunion with Tsukioka, even reuniting with some old war buddies of his, Tajima and Terasawa. Meanwhile, Kobayashi and Hidemi have kind of a heart-to-heart with the former, implying that he has found someone that he fancies. Unfortunately, the discussion is cut short by news of one of the company's trawlers having been sunk. Despite Hidemi's protests, Tsukioka scrambles to his plane immediately because, hey, a boat sunk. It's probably Godzilla. Probably. It is. Spoilers. He finds Godzilla coming ashore at Kamiko Island. Kobayashi, in the midst of asking Hidemi what things girls might like to receive from a potential suitor, switches places with Tsukioka. There we go. Perfect. Who only has enough fuel for a return trip. Kobayashi circles Kamiko to ensure Godzilla stays there, but as the JSDF arrive at the island, the creature attempts to leave. Thinking quickly, Kobayashi dive bombs the monster, enraging it. He's dive bombing. There we go. Spewing atomic fire from its maw, Kobayashi's plane is engulfed in flames, crashing into the side of a mountain, causing an avalanche, partially burying the terrible Titan in ice. Hidemi, meanwhile, finds that Kobayashi has left his little notebook of notes where he was writing down all the things that girls like, and she sees a picture of the girl he fancies, and she's like, "Oh no, that's a shame." It's never really made clear whether this girl actually knew who Kobayashi was, or if it was just someone he was admiring from afar. But we'll never know. Mourning his friend, Tsukioka devises a plan to deliberately fire rockets at the mountain, encasing the monster in snow and ice. The JSDF leaves to stock up on weaponry, but not before creating a wall of fire with barrels of gasoline to ensure Godzilla stays put. I'm not really sure how that works. Fire, historically has not had any effect on him, but whatever. Suspension of disbelief and all that. The JSDF returns, puts their plan in motion, and while many pilots are lost, ultimately the plan succeeds, and the monster is buried under the ensuing avalanche. Tsukioka breathes a sigh of relief, knowing that thanks to Kobayashi's sacrifice, the threat of Godzilla has once again been thwarted. Oh, okay, boy, oh boy. That was a lot of lore. 2006 was a big year for Bionicle, and it set the franchise on a course that would lead it right up until the end of the storyline. Put a little, the gif of Doctor Strange from Infinity War, where he's like, "We're in the end game now, put that right here." I have in the script, in brackets, end game bit here, but not really, but we are doing it. Put it there. We're in the end game now. Anyways, y'all know what time it is. We gotta list every set that ever came out for the line in 2006. I still don't know why I'm doing that bit. It's not even a bit, it's just a good way to end it. It's not, I don't know, is it a good way to end it? You tell me. I haven't looked at comments on a single one of these videos. I don't know what the response has been like. I posted it to the r/Bionicle subreddit. Yeah, I don't think anyone commented on those posts though. So who knows? Anyways, small sets. We got the Matoran of Voyanui, Velika, Kazi, Piruk, Garan. I think it's Garan. It's either Garan or Garan. I don't know. Balta and Dalu. medium-sized canister sets, we of course got the gosh dang Paraka, Radak, Hakun, Vizak, Zaktan, Avok, and Thok, and then of course the Toa Inika, Jalar, Hali, Nuparu, Huki, Kongu, and Matoro. Large boxed sets, which are considered some of the best sets Bionicle ever made, were Brutaka, which is my personal favorite set of all of Bionicle. I love Brutaka. Great set. I think I still have all the parts to him somewhere. I don't know where, but if I really wanted to, I could probably rebuild him. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. It ain't gonna happen. Axon and Vizon and Fenrak, which is a close second for favorite sets of mine. But that wasn't all. There were a number of special edition boxed sets. Umbra, Ernak, and Vizon and Cardis. The latter two are really just repackaged combiner models, though Ernak did come with a golden Paraka spine that you couldn't really get anywhere else. It was just Thok's spine, but it was pearl gold and not white. So, and then Umbra was he was a Walmart exclusive. Yeah, we're getting into exclusives now. Continuing the whole play sets bit from last year, we got the Paraka Outpost, Lava Chamber Gate, and Paraka Stronghold, as well as a special edition playset, Race for the Mask of Life. I don't know what's special about it. I couldn't find any info about what was special about it, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. The collectibles this year were the Zammer Spheres, and I'm not sure if that's more or less lame than the Ratuka Spinners from the previous year, but that is not the important thing. I wish I had a picture of this dude. The real juicy stuff lies in the promotional sets, baby. If you're a real Bionicle fan, and if you're watching this, you know who you are. You know who you are. I hope you know where I'm going with this, but if you don't, I mean, you should. You should, as soon as you heard 2006 and promotional sets, you should know where I'm going with this. If you are a real Bionicle fan, you will know what a Chad, good guy and bad guy are. Look at these dudes. I've just put JPEGs of them right here. I should have printed them, but here they are. Look at them. All right. You've basked in the glory. I'll move on. Duracell, the battery company, had a number of promotional sets. The most notable of these was Gold Good Guy, which was later canonized to depict Taraga Lee Khan, whereas Duracell Bad Guy meant absolutely nothing. We don't talk about him. The Belgian fast food chain Quick had a number of promotional sets, a white and red good guy and a green and yellow bad guy. None of these have had any story significance, so who the heck cares? Anyway, that's pretty much it. Everything else was just kind of bundles that included multiple sets, and that's even more boring than all the promotional stuff. So that about wraps it up for this episode of Dave Explains Bionicle Lore. I am sorry this one took so long, but I'm sure you can see why. When this comes out, you'll understand. It'll all make sense in that little head of yours. 2006 was an extremely dense year for story. It's kind of going to be like this for the next couple episodes. It just gets more and more dense. I can't remember if I've mentioned it, but the reason Bionicle as a toy line ended was because the story got too dense and LEGO said, there's so much going on here, there is no way we can possibly get new fans on board with this. We're done. So, I promise the next episode covering the 2007 Mari Nui storyline won't take nearly as long. I'll see y'all then, but in the meantime, I'm going back to sleep. I'm eepy.